edition of RPM, Religion, Politics, and either money or music. So let's get your motor running. Yeah, we really here at RPM haven't talked a whole lot about music so far, but there seems to be just as wide a gap sometimes as in music as there is in politics or sometimes religion. So we're going to see if we can explore the gaps in music today. And so we've got as our guest ATG, who's back on again. You're a producer. Tell us a little bit about the music that you produce.
Okay, so, I've had 2 records that have been released out for the public to hear. First song is called Strong Enough, and it has Swifty McQuay on it, and it was made for the Devil's Night soundtrack.
That's a movie that was filmed here in Detroit that was released nationally. I think there was a premiere, and now it's an international movie, right? So your music through that movie is getting international exposure at this point, right?
Yeah.
What do you think are the strong point? What do you think stands out about that music in that soundtrack with that movie? Tell us a little bit about it. Because we don't have the music, so we've got to get it all through what you tell us.
So I only produced 1 song off of that soundtrack, and I think just the fact that you have a more old school Detroit rapper, was part of Eminem's group D12, rapping over trap percussion combined with just running it was a cello ostinato. That's the technical term, but basically what that means is there's a string instrument, and it's using orchestral composition techniques. Okay,
this is a native Detroit rapper who is he an 8 Mile kind of guy? I mean, is he from like Detroit or is he?
He's from Detroit.
He is. Okay, so he's the real deal.
Yeah, I mean he was with Eminem's band. Is that right too?
Yes. So he's been all around the world, and now he is the guy that you produced on this record and this music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So what's he talking about? Because sometimes music is about the sound, the beat, the feel that you get, the music, the vibes, whatever we call it in different generations. But also a lot of times the lyric is important. Is this really important to the movie, or is it important to the world? But the music, the movie used it. Tell me what this song's about.
So when I first made that song, I kind of had a different idea of how a rapper would tackle it. I was thinking of something a little more aggressive, but he focused on kind of overcoming the odds, overcoming adversity. So that was the direction he took. So it's actually more motivational. And I suppose, when you listen to the instrumental, it does have a motivational quality to it.
Okay, so I listen to lots of different kinds of music. Probably not a whole lot that you listen to. Sometimes in the morning it helps me to wake up. Sometimes I got something that makes me want to dance. Sometimes I got a little romantic music too. I'll tell you about that later. And then there's the kind that I like to go work out. So I put it on and it makes me move, gets my heart pumping. Is that what you mean when you say motivational? It's like something I would work out to, or it's something I'd listen to, think about, get pumped up the next day. Tell me what you mean when you say motivational.
It's kind of a combination of that.
Okay.
So you can work out to it, and it's motivational in that sense, but also I think Swifty's goal was to try to create a song that would push you to, fight against whatever is holding you back.
Okay. All right. And that fits in the theme of the movie too then, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your first song that you produced. It's a big song. You got a big star doing this, and people are watching it all around the world right now. And so now you got a whole soundtrack, right, on another movie?
I don't have a whole soundtrack. I have a few songs coming out, not released as singles. So
okay.
The movie's called Trap City. It will be released in a few months, I believe. Still working on it,
Is the music ready?
Yeah, the music is ready. A song has already been released. The first single was called Paranoid, which was produced by me. So this song features Omar Gooding. You may know him as Cuba Gooding's brother, but he's
his brother?
Yeah.
The guy, he played Radio, right? Was he the guy on Radio? Was that the name of the movie Cuba was in?
I mean, Cuba was in a lot of movies, but his most well-known movie is Boys in the Hood, Jerry Maguire.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's right. I remember. I've seen
And
that.
Omar was, who's in, a lot of people know him from Baby Boy with Snoop Dogg.
Okay,
So,
all right. So this is the. How do you get these people? How do you get this kind of people to say, "Hey, come down to Detroit and let's make a record. Let's make a
well,
soundtrack."
he didn't come to Detroit. So the director and we got in contact through connections. I'll put it that way.
You can't let all your secrets
Yeah,
out.
of course. So what I did is, I sent him some instrumentals, and he sent it over to Omar. He didn't say who. He actually had a lot of other producers too. Omar happened to choose 4 songs I produced. He liked all, and then he didn't know it was the same guy actually.
Really? So it's almost like a blind testing if you're drinking wine.
Yeah.
Like, hey, which of these do you think is good? And he said, oh, all of them. I'll take a bottle of each. And that's what you did?
Yeah.
Wow.
So then when I met him, he's like, "Wait, you're the guy that produced all these songs?" And he even said, even Dr. Dre doesn't have that ability to create consistent hits.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what did you have to do? Fly out to L.A. and meet with him there? Or where did you go? How did this...
So, you can record vocals and email them. You can do all that, but I wanted to meet him, so I did go to LA when he was recording for one of the songs.
And you went into the studio and watched him do the recording, talk to him?
Yeah.
What's he like? Is he kind of cool?
He's very cool. He's definitely a personality, very energetic.
He is? Is he the older or younger brother? Can't tell? Black don't crack,
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I can't tell you how exciting it is for me, for you, because it seems like, you're relatively new at this, but you not only had a big hit with the first one, now you got another single being released. You got major stars saying, Dr. Dre doesn't even have the kind of consistency that we're seeing with you as a producer. And there must be some pretty big things out there in front of you.
Yeah.
What are you going to look at next?
So I still actually have a few more things to say about the song Paranoid.
Okay, please do.
So there's also a female MC. Her name is Ciroc. She's from Atlanta. She's, more like a socially conscious rapper. Definitely did her thing on the track. And I think a more uncommon choice would be to use a singer from India. He's a composer also. His name is G.B. Prakash. He's actually the nephew of A.R. Rahman, and he's also, not just to drop names, he's, very talented in his own right, especially compositions.
Okay.
I met him just casually, no goal, and he was the first one to listen to that instrumental, actually, and he's like, I like what you did here, the way you were able to have the orchestral elements swell up and down. He really liked that.
Okay. So you got a really talent for putting this whole thing together. Let me ask you a little bit, because you were talking about the song Paranoid, and you weren't finished talking about it. So let me ask you a little bit more about it. Here in America, we've got a divided country. We talk about politics on this show, you know that. And sometimes we'll look at things from a whole different angle. But when you were telling me a little bit about the lyrics to this song, it's more relevant maybe for a whole subculture here in the United States than maybe for the global market to which it's being presented. But tell me a little bit about the lyrics in that song and how they speak to maybe mainstream population here in the United States.
Okay, really, I think this song is kind of an insight into how, not a small subculture, 13% or more of the population, this is kind of what they go through. It's like, this is their mindset. The constant state of paranoia. I don't trust, the law.
You don't trust the police. You don't trust the justice system. You don't trust a lot of things. And you say there's about 30% of the country that may fall somewhat under that umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay, and this song has a message that resonates and speaks for all, whatever, that's nearly 100 million people in the country, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and so if you were to try to tell me in a sentence or two, what would make me wake up and listen to what's being said here, because I don't understand it, because I'm from a different generation, I'm from a different angle, what would you tell me I need to know about this song?
Okay, of course, as a producer, I'm going to tell you, I think the sound itself is something that can be listened to, even if you don't agree with the lyrics. you can
Okay.
still listen to how it sounds because, it is hip hop, but what I did was I used compositional techniques that composers use. Like Hans Zimmer, he was actually my influence.
Really?
Yeah, so I actually started the song off as a completely orchestral composition. So I wasn't even planning on making this into a hip hop beat.
Okay, so the music came first in this
Yeah.
case, and then the lyrics came later. But it was more than one person singing, more than one person responsible for the lyrics too, right?
Yeah, so each rapper they wrote their lyrics. With GB Prakash, we had lyrics written for him, but he also wrote his own lyrics when he sings in our native tongue. Well, I would say it's the tongue from the motherland for me. I don't
Okay.
speak Tamil, but that's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
It's
all
from
right.
Tamil
That's an
Nadu.
Indian language for those that don't
It's
know.
an Indian language,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
One of many. I think there's a few thousand Indian languages.
I've heard there are a lot. I have enough trouble with English, so.
Yeah. So this is I think the first hip hop song in the world history, or there's Tamil on it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay. So how do people? Let's say somebody's listening to this show and they say, "I want to hear this music. I want to be part of the history being made here, and I want to listen to the lyrics. I want to write them down. There might even be a video that I'd like to see. How do people access this?"
So one thing you could do is go on YouTube, type in Paranoid the ATG or any of the other artists. But I'm gonna plug myself first for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. You will see a video that has 1 million plus hits. So if you
Right.
click on that, we actually have a music video that I felt that I actually was involved with bringing in the cinematographer. I felt like it was necessary because I wanted the video to be cinematic, and and Iswan Lateng, that's his name. He had really phenomenal work on Devil's Night, so we brought him in. So the
So if
video
I
itself
saw,
is
I'm sorry.
really well made.
Okay, so if I, first of all, I could listen to nothing more than music, and because of some of the things that you've done that are somewhat seminal, that could be enough, just the music alone. Now you've got Tamil and a couple of rappers that are pretty famous, both putting a piece of part into it to add the lyrics, and now you've gone to the next level, and you put in a video that even tells the story a little deeper, a little more involved, and people can see one, two, or listen to one, two, three of those things, and then they should go see the movie as well, right?
Yeah, now I should also add, Paranoid is available for streaming too on all streaming platforms,
Oh, all right.
courtesy of Sony Orchard. They published it on, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc.
And you just look under Paranoid ATG, and it's going to be there.
Paranoid the ATG,
Okay, all right.
or you can do Ciroc, you can do Omar Gooding, you could do GB Prakash, either one.
Any of those,
Any
and
of them.
it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Great. Well, it's exciting to have you here. Exciting to see somebody relatively new to the industry doing so well so fast. I think that people are going to keep an eye on you. Is there some way that they can search you and find? Is there a website or some kind of something that they say, I want to know what this guy's doing next? Because if people in California are saying, Dr. Dre can't do the kind of stuff this guy does, then maybe they want to follow you. How do they do that?
So one thing you can do is go on my Spotify. I have an artist page.
Okay.
You can follow me, see what releases I'm going to release. Follow my social media, Facebook, Instagram. My Instagram handle is @the1ATG. And we're still kind of working on it, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
All right. Well, by the way, we're hoping a lot of people listen to this, so the secret's going to get out.
Oh,
okay?
of course,
All
I
right.
know.
All right.
I'm not always involved with the social media, but later down the road, I'm going to start being more directly involved.
Really?
So,
Oh, well, the shy guy's going to come out of the corner, huh? You're going to come out hitting?
yeah, because, I not only plan to be a producer, I want to be a recording artist. And I have a certain vision that I feel has to be shared, and only I can do it. Only I know what's in my head.
All right. So you're going to be sharing that with us sometime soon. Is that a 2021 thing?
I'm hoping so, yeah.
Oh, well, we're hoping so, too. I think it's going to be great. Detroit has an incredible history of rock and roll, Motown. We had Madonna. We got Stevie Wonder. We got all Bob Seger. I mean, you can talk about Alice Cooper. You can Ted Nugent, Terrible Ted. All these people. But in the last few years, with the exception of maybe a Kid Rock or an Eminem, you haven't heard a lot from Detroit. So now you are part of the generation that's saying, pay attention to Detroit. We've been doing it for about 100 years. We're going to keep doing it, and we're going to do it in different ways. And if they wanted to check in, the best way to do that, if you look under Paranoid, look under ATG, YouTube would be the place to start, and there's more to come in the future. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I have actually, you know, I flew out to Atlanta to meet someone, you know, who I would consider, and many others would consider, an Atlanta trap legend. I'm not going to say his name yet, but
Okay.
when we finalize everything,
Yeah.
I just want everyone to be ready for a really massive song.
Well, you know, I'm a kind of shy guy, but I don't mind asking. So when you are ready to say that and give the name out, will you come onto RPM and let us be the guys to talk about that story too?
Of course.
All right, we got it here. All right, that's the end of our show today, but can't tell you how great it's been listening to the things that you're doing. It's exciting stuff that's going on. It's relevant stuff. And you got about 1 million hits so far, but the message speaks for maybe as many as 90 to 100 million American people that feel paranoid. They should check in because that there should be 80 to 90 million hits, not 1 million. So
Exactly.
I'm hoping that people listen to this and go out and listen to what you have to say and what the artists have to say. Thank you all again, and we'll be back next Thursday, somewhere around 3:30 in the afternoon, for another edition of RPM, Religion, Politics, and Money or Music. RPM, get your motor running.